Choosing the right training split can massively affect how much muscle you actually grow. So today I'm going to go over everything you need to know to choose the right training split for you. There's a few things that come before maybe what's optimal. And number one would be, what can you actually fit into your schedule? Do you realistically have 3 days, 4 days, or 5 days throughout the week to train? Maybe it's you've actually only got two. And I'm going to go through a few options for each one. The second question then is, what do you enjoy? So, do you enjoy training each body part on its own? Maybe you enjoy doing a chest day, a leg day, a back day, an arm day. It might not be the best option, but if you enjoy it, you're probably going to train harder. You're probably going to get more out of each individual set. So, you definitely can't write that off. And then number three is understanding what you need to work on. If you're quite new to training, then you can probably just go for a very well-rounded split. If you've been training quite a while, it might start to be time to actually specialize that split. Maybe you need a little bit more lower body focus, or maybe you need a little bit more upper body focus, or maybe there's certain muscle groups within the upper body that you want to prioritize. And I'm not going to be able to go through every single option here, but if that is you and you do have something that you want to prioritize, all you need to do is increase the frequency that you're training that muscle. So rather than just doing it once a week, try training it 2 times or 3 times throughout the week, and make sure that the exercises are at the start of your sessions for that individual muscle group so that you can give them as much attention as they deserve. So that is the three things to preface before we go on to options of training splits. Now, I'm going to list quite a lot of different options here, so make sure you choose one and stick to it. And if you don't know what to do, if you don't know which one to choose, my go-to would be 4 days a week, upper, lower, upper, lower. That is the most basic split that works, and it will work for pretty much everyone. So if you're unsure, upper, lower, 4 days a week, have rest days in between, and you'll be absolutely fine. So going into the options of splits, I'm going to go through 2 days a week, 3 days a week, 4 days a week, and 5 days a week splits. I'll give one or two options for each depending on what's going to be necessary. So starting off with 2 days a week, the go-to is 2 full body sessions. And the reason is you want to get that frequency up. So you want to be able to train most of your muscle groups twice a week. So if you do 2 full body sessions where you have a press, you have a row, you have a squat movement pattern, and you have some sort of hip hinge along with any extras like a leg curl or a leg extension, or maybe you put some delt work in there. If you have that, you'll be absolutely fine. If you train 3 days a week, I would actually still do full body. So full body A, full body B, and full body C across those weeks. Again, just to make sure you're getting a good amount of frequency. A second option for 3 days a week would be full body, upper, lower. Therefore, with that, you can kind of put a little bit more focus onto those lower and upper sessions. If you're training 4 days a week and 5 or 6, the options really start to expand themselves. So for 4 days a week, like I say, a go-to super good option is going to be upper, lower, making sure you're resting at least 2 days in between each upper and upper session and in between each lower and lower session. That's going to be a really good option. Now, if you wanted to prioritize your upper body, for example, something like pull, push, legs, upper allows you to prioritize that a little bit more, because you can put a little bit more volume into that pull session and the push session to give that upper body a little bit more love. Now, if you want to train lower body more, this is where you can sort of go lower with a hamstring dominant session, then into a push session, then into a lower B, which will be a quad dominant session, then having a couple of rest days and going into lower C. So that is going to be very, very heavy lower. Sorry, I think I said push. I meant upper. That's going to be a very heavy lower dominant session. But again, if you're looking into that stuff, you probably need quite a lot of personalization and specialization into those sessions. Now, 5 days a week, the go-to would be push, pull, legs, upper, lower. That is a really, really good split to go for. Again, just making sure you're getting enough rest in between the upper session and the pull or the push day. And other options, there's frankly loads of other options for that. So I'd probably just stick to that. Push, pull, legs, upper, lower is a real go-to. If you're not prioritizing your legs so much, then I'd probably go for push, pull, legs, push, pull. So then you don't have that second leg day in there if you are wanting to prioritize the upper body. And then 6 and 7 days a week, to be honest, it's not necessary. You don't need to train 6 or 7 days a week. I actually believe if you are doing, you're probably not training hard enough because you're fresh enough. You got too much energy. You need to train a little bit harder. And if you are training 6 days a week and you are training hard, you're probably not recovering as well as you can do. So yeah, that is a brief outline of training splits. Like I say, choose one that you think is going to be enjoyable for you that you can do consistently. If you're not sure what to choose, go for upper, lower, upper, lower. 4 days a week is going to be a really, really good starting point. And then when we start to specialize and when we start to bring up certain body parts, you probably need something a little bit more detailed for you, which is obviously what we do in the coaching. We set people up with programs that are specific to their exact needs. So if you are interested, of course, feel free to reach out and we can set you up a program that works as well as possible to build your muscle, that fits into your schedule very, very nicely, and that you actually enjoy. So if you are interested in that, there'll be a link below to get signed up. If not, hopefully you enjoyed the video nonetheless, and I'll see you in the next one. Ciao.